Enhancing eyelashes is another important retouch. It's one of the easiest ones to do, and at the same time, one of the ones I hate to do the most because it just takes time. There's no real quick shortcut around it. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the technique, but I want to give you a warning before I show you this. It looks ridiculous while you are doing it. So while I'm doing it, you're going to go, this is the fakiest looking thing that's never going to work. It looks ridiculous. And then when you back off and fix it, it finally looks okay. So by easy, I mean this. Watch. Here's how easy it is. Duplicate the background layer. Switch the blend mode to multiply. That makes everything twice as dark. You're going to hold the Option key on Mac or the Alt key on PC. Hide that behind the black mask. And then we're going to zoom way in on the eyelashes. Now, get a brush tool and make it super, 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 super small. So you're going to go down here to like, 3-4 pixels, something really, really tiny. And what you're going to do is trace the eyelashes that are there. Now, if there's not eyelashes there, you can actually just draw in eyelashes. But ideally, you'll trace the ones that are there. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to take our mouse. Now, if you have a Wacom tablet, and I'm not using this for the reasons I mentioned earlier, everybody should be using a Wacom tablet if you're serious about retouching. But for our example here, not everyone's going to have one, so I decided not to use the tablet so everybody would be able to do every single retouch that I did. So here I'm using a mouse, and still what I basically do is just kind of, oops, that's nicely done there. Just going to flick right down here, just kind of flick with the mouse and just kind of trace these areas. Now, like I said, this is going to look terrible, and this actually is terrible while as I'm doing this. And if I make a fake one that's not there, it doesn't really bother me. Well, you'll see you can see they kind of arc out from the center, right? Whoops, that one doesn't look very good. Neither does that. You can start to see exactly why I hate doing this. You can also see why it's so much easier with a Wacom tablet. Alright, so now as you start to go back this way, they start to straighten out a little bit and actually turn the opposite direction. That was kind of a ratty one. There we go. And you're thinking, man, this looks terrible. There's no way this is going to work. Sadly, it does work. Alright, so we go this way. And if you want to do the tops, you can do the same thing. You're going to have to go the same route. In this picture, that's not a tremendously in focus shot, so there we go. But alright, so now granted it looks kind of silly. So let's back off. Alright, and here's what you're going to do. Set the opacity back to 0. So now there's no painting done here, and as you increase the opacity, watch the eyelashes in the bottom. Look at that. They just come right in. You really can't tell how bad I am at painting or how bad any of us are at that. Unless you go to 100%, it looks kind of fakey. But somewhere in the 30, 40, 50% range, just looks like darker eyelashes. So that's the technique. You're going to go around both of the eyes, the tops and the bottoms. Trace them around, go all the way to 0, and then slowly bring them back up to get where you want to be. It's no fun, but it works wonders. Now, you can also use the same thing for the eyebrows themselves. You're just going to use a much larger brush, so let's go ahead and do that while we're here. And the second part of this is, and when I mean larger brush, you're going to go a long way. Second part of this is you're going to have to lower the opacity of the brush a little bit. So let's just kind of go in here. See how it's darkening them just like that? Couple of strokes and you're there. Take a look. So in this case, we've darkened the eyebrows and we've added a little bit to the bottom of the eyelashes on the left eye. So that's just a quick tutorial on how to do it. It's no fun, but that's the way it's done.